Smartphones these days are starting to become really affordable. Brands offer new ones that sport huge displays with powerful chipsets way lower than they used to be. However, I think that this new budget phone from Infinix deviates from this, and it definitely deserves your attention. I talked about other Infinix smartphones in the past. We published a few reviews on our website and even posted some videos. The last Infinix smartphone I talked about was the Infinix 08, which sports a Helio G90 processor and 90Hz display. It is still one of the most affordable smartphones right now with the same processor and display refresh rate. What Infinix did is they made another smartphone with a more affordable chipset but with the same display refresh rate. This means that if your budget isn't fit for an Infinix 08, they are offering you something more affordable, this time with the Infinix Hot 10s. Infinix Hot 10s has a 6.86-inch HD Plus display with 90Hz refresh rate. I have no problems with this display, and in fact shows quite impressive visual clarity and detail despite its size. It's very responsive too, thanks to its 180Hz response rate, which you can normally find on mid-range smartphones. In terms of real-world usage, the benefit of having a high refresh rate on budget smartphones is more responsive when browsing through menus and other less performing heavy tasks. In fact, I barely reach beyond 60 FPS when playing games. So, if you're thinking that you'll be able to play games at 60 to 90 FPS on this smartphone, the Infinix Hot 10s might not be able to satisfy you. Well, don't get me wrong. This is a very capable budget smartphone, but I just want to point out its limitations for your benefit. Now, let's talk about its performance. If you're aware of the landscape of the smartphone industry in the Philippines, brands that are competing in the budget category include Realme, Vivo, Oppo, Xiaomi, Tecno, and now Infinix. Realme, Tecno, and Infinix are very aggressive in this category right now. And from my perspective, Infinix Hot 10s, Redmi Note 9, and Tecno Pova 2 have almost identical specs and price range. Infinix Hot 10s is powered by a 12nm MediaTek Helio G85 chipset with Mali G52 GPU. Hot 10s has two variants in terms of RAM and storage, a 4GB plus 64GB internal storage and a 6GB plus 128GB internal storage. What I have here is the 6GB variant. So far, performance is good for its price and proves to be one of the more power-efficient smartphones I've used so far. Hot 10s is positioned for mobile gamers. Its chipset is positioned for mobile gaming performance in a budget package. If you're into performance benchmark, you are now seeing benchmark results versus a smartphone that's running on Snapdragon 720G. This should give you an idea of how this fares versus other fairly pricier smartphones like Realme 7 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro. In terms of gameplay performance, I got to play Genshin Impact at lowest settings with very minimal frame rate hiccups. In order for you to enjoy this game fully, I suggest that you turn off Bloom as it takes a lot of resources. It's a small price to pay and should not affect your enjoyment of the game. I also got to play Diablo Immortal at a very decent frame rate. Infinix Hot 10s is not one of the listed devices that is compatible with Diablo Immortal, but I was able to play the game without major performance issues. The only downside is that you're limited to playing this game at medium settings and high FPS is disabled. Games like Wild Rift and Mobile Legends are playable too. High frame rate at high graphic settings works on Mobile Legends. Infinix also has Game Mode software feature which adds quite a number of enhancements and optimization. Mobile Legends is pre-added to the list of games, so you will have to manually add the other games via settings. Oh, and one more thing about gaming, the Infinix Hot 10s also has DAR-Link. DAR-Link Ultimate Game Booster technology is a preset and turned on by default in the Hot 10s system. It's already pre-installed and pre-activated, so you won't find any operating interface or adjustment mode in the settings. Next, let's talk about the phone's cameras. You get 3 cameras at the back and another one in front. Rear cameras include a 48 megapixel main, 2 megapixel, and another one for AI purposes. The 2-megapixel and AI lens act as support lens to its 48-megapixel. The 48-megapixel camera does all the legwork, while the other two lenses work hand in hand to improve the quality of your shots. Speaking of the quality of shots, I find the shots to be pretty good for the phone's price, but it can be better. There are a few things that need to be improved, like tweaking the level of saturation and contrast of photos, toning down AI overcompensation, and fixing focus speed, especially in well-lit areas. The front-facing camera is pretty basic, but what made it fun to use are the available pre-installed ARs and short video templates. As I mentioned, the Infinix Hot 10s cameras are good for its price. In fact, I think I may be asking too much for a phone that costs 7,000 pesos, or lower than that. But hey, I don't think there's something wrong with dreaming, right? The Infinix Hot 10s also packs a 6,000 mAh battery. I fully charged this smartphone right after I unboxed it. Charging its 6,000 mAh battery took longer than I expected because they only included a 10-watt charger out of the box. Fortunately, depleting it down to 10% took about a day and a half with moderate usage. For the artificial battery test, my first PC Mark battery test yielded a 17 hours and 7 minutes result. Also, according to Infinix, you can further extend the power of your smartphone when you switch to Ultra Power mode. This gives users 25% battery backup thanks to its Power Marathon technology. There's still too much to say about the Infinix Hot 10s. My full written review will be up on our website soon, which will include more test results and more impressions about its camera. However, this does not mean that my experience does not give enough information for me to give you a recommendation. This 6GB RAM variant only costs $6,990, which makes it as one of the cheapest Android smartphones with Helio G85, 90Hz display, 48-megapixel main camera, and 6,000 mAh battery. This alone is enough for me to give you my thumbs up and recommendations. If you want a cheaper one, the Infinix Hot 10s has a 4GB variant that you can buy for 5,990 pesos. Infinix is also running a special pricing of the Hot 10s from June 15 to June 18 exclusively on Shopee. Details are in the description and pinned comment below. If you're still unsure whether you're going to buy this or not, then you may want to read my full review on gadgetpilipinas.net. That's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I loved making it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. This has been Gian. Catch you on the next one.